All right, everybody, we've got a really, really good duo here from Tennessee, Scott Hall and Gary Ashton, and they're gonna bring the heat this time. They're the number one Remax team, and they've been doing business for a while here, and they do it in such a way that connects with their audience, and that's what I love. I mean, the very first time I met Gary was through, I think it was through Howard, right? I think we met through Howard Tager, Wailopo.
Yep.
And then I'm like, I dove deeper into your business. I'm like, dude, it's pretty impressive, man. Pretty impressive. So just a quick intro. Scott, Gary, can you tell us a little bit about what you're running out there in Tennessee?
Well, I am I guess I would, you say who's running things. It's kind of a bit of a gray area now because I started out with the team back in literally 2002, and it started off with just one person, two person, then three people, then 10 people, and 15, and now we're up to a point where I think we have 180 agents. So, but we operate as a team, and so at some point you realize you need a lot of help. So we have a lot of help. So it's who runs the show now? I think it might be Scott and Deborah are running the show actually, but
nice.
So I work really closely with Scott. I used to think I was techie. I thought I was the techie realtor until I met Scott. And then that's when I realized, ooh, this guy knows way more than I'll ever know. So Scott has been a massive addition to the business, who started out really as a realtor. I didn't realize his background was in music and recording engineering. So it was like he'll probably explain this better, but just some people have that ability to adapt and change to different tech environments. And I think coming from his music background, all of a sudden he was realizing, well, why are you doing it like that? Can't we do it like this? And then meeting all the different vendors, and they would talk to me on a techie level, and then Scott would go, yeah, we can do that with a webhook and do this and do that, and the APIs, and is it open, is it closed? So I've learned more from him just by hanging around with him, really, about the whole but, so I started the team back in 2004, and then it's just grown, and now we have a huge, massive support staff. Like I said, business partner with Deborah and Scott, and it's so there's my elevator pitch for.
Good intro. So Scott, tell me what it is that you do right now for the team, man.
So I do a lot of things. I'm VP of sales, and then I help run our Zillow offers division. Like Gary said, I do a lot of tech. I've integrated and automated pretty much everything you possibly can, and really took us from, we had no inside sales staff. We've now got an inside sales staff of 11, looking to hire more. Again, with that, we've got, I think, 47 different lead sources that actively send us leads. We're bringing in somewhere around 4,600 leads a month, and on track to do somewhere around 2,700 sales probably this year.
Why not 3,000, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
Scott, set your sights higher. That's terrible. We're going for $1 billion.
We'll hit $1 billion for sure.
I love that. So hold on the 11 ISAs.
Yeah.
Are they all functioning on a dialer that they're using through Follow Up Boss? Are they using a different dialer? Do they not use a dialer? Tell me about them.
Yeah, so we're all Follow Up Boss, so it's all of the Follow Up Boss dialing. Everybody's got the phone number. We're on the new growth, I think is what it's called, plan, where everybody has a number, ISAs and agents alike.
All right, cool. And you have all ISAs in-house? Are they virtual assistants? Are they in the US? What does that look like?
Yeah, so the 11 that I'm talking about, we have in Nashville, all licensed. And then we have some overseas folks that do some admin work for us, some of the admin stuff. Go ahead, Jay.
I was going to say they kind of do a lot of the behind the scenes, the heavy lifting, and then which leaves the licensed ISAs to answer all those questions about real estate price and how have a good knowledge of the area, because it doesn't matter how much you can train somebody to talk knowledgeably about the area. If you're not from here, and if you're not living here, and you're not experiencing it here, it's, you know, I mean, I'm from England, so it's nothing to do with the accent and things like that. It's just really about being part of the local community. So that's what we bring, and just on the ability to talk about price and knowledge. And so that's why we have the local ISAs who are.
Yeah, I think that's huge. We've tried a bunch of different ISA services, and you know, it's hard. They don't pronounce a city name right, and then it's hard to recover from that first. And then, you know, setting an appointment for 500,000 in an area might seem great until it's an area that's average price points 1.2 million, and it's unrealistic. So we've definitely gone more toward that, the licensed in-state folks.
I love that. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about that, because you said you have 47 different lead sources approximately. So you have over 4,000 leads coming through from all of these different sources. Tell me the process, and does it go to the ISA first, or does it go to an agent first?
Yeah, so 90+% of them run through the ISA department. We do hand some inquiries from our website directly out to agents, but almost everything is vetted through the ISAs on the team.
All right, cool. And so everything is vetted through the ISA. They upload the notes in Follow Up Boss. Do they also nurture through that system, or is part of that automated through like some of the dare ads through Ylopo, or do you do your own nurturing? How does this look?
Yeah, so I mean, we kind of hit everywhere. Gary covers all advertising, so he's doing a ton of stuff on Facebook. And so we retarget everybody with Ylopo. We also hit the traffic to the site that doesn't register with some retargeting. And then we use call action for all text strips. We use all the hatch campaigns. That's been a big change for us this year. We went from a massive outbound number of calls where we're calling a ton less than we were last year. But we're having more text conversations than we've ever had phone conversations from the same source. Like our website, we get, you know, somewhere around 60 to 70 leads a day. And those we have like a 47% response rate on those. And that's within the first 60 days of those campaigns. So we've taken a lot of the heavy lifting of outbound calls and given more time to take the inbound. I mean, between Zillow Flex, a lot of HomeLight stuff, GLS, we're just taking a ton of inbound opportunities. So it's paved a way for that.
All right. So when you're saying your website, is that organic traffic that you're getting?
Yeah, that's all GA. He's had that same site, I think, since 2003, maybe.
We started with the site in 2003, and just ironically, it's been something that I've worked on to start with, and now we outsource all the SEO. Tony Gilbert does that, and it's just continued to grow with the content and just having a good user experience in terms of the user interface, and also trying to always be one step ahead in terms of the features on the site. You know, with the home coming soon thing changing, clear cooperation, some of those things like the homes that you can actually see as a member of the public and what the realtors can see. It's forever changing, and so we're trying to stay one step ahead of that kind of thing.
I like that, dude. Well, look, I think that's probably the key, right? To always stay on top of things. And that's why I love the combination you've got here, Gary, because as teams grow, or even individual agents start adding pieces, there's no way we can focus on everything. That's why I love Scott here. Scott, so tell me about the Follow Up Boss Pixel. Are you guys using that right now with your website, or not yet?
So we have used it. We're in the middle of upgrading our real estate webmaster site. And so there was some stuff with the old version of the firmware that wasn't working. So it ended up throwing some webhooks into a loop and caused some issues. But our
site is so heavily customized. It's
what's your website, guys? I want to take a look at this.
It's a really terrible URL. It's Nashville's MLS. So Nashville SMLS. So that's kind of like the workhorse site. And then we We have the Ylopo on GaryAshton.com, and then we have the NashvilleRealEstate.com. So we got, there you go. Yeah.
That's your main site. This is where you get a lot of the SEO from.
So yeah, so that's the landing page, but potential spam. We have organically ranks really, really well for long tail stuff. I call it the vanity keywords like Nashville real estate, Nashville homes for sale. You probably find that we're probably 5 or 6 down the
Dude,
page.
look at this. This is insane. So everybody that's tuning in right now, please take a look at Nashville's MLS, because just the navigation on its own, look at this, dude. The natural SEO on this is going to be insane for this. So that's
we've worked on it for a long time.
Beautiful to see. All right, question here from the audience. We got Michael asking, can you share or not? What's the salary and bonus structure for ISAs? Is that something that you share or no?
I actually have no clue on that.
Okay. Well, then
there's always
is that a
somebody
yes?
else in the organization knows better than me. I think we have a base salary, and then it's we call it it's not really profit sharing, but we try and have people motivated based on the success of the overall business. So obviously the ISA is an integral part of that, because without that, without the what do you call it,
they're the ones lead prospecting, lead generating, and
so the call comes in and they talk knowledge, and they can figure out if this is something that somebody needs to go see a home immediately, or if it's something that's they need to sell a home, or if they're still thinking about coming here, they got sell a home in California, all that kind of stuff. So
I have a question on that.
Yeah,
because as you're creating these opportunities, guys, for your ISAs and your team, is this for the ISA specifically, is this something that you guys are having them only work on the database and incoming leads, or are they also making outbound calls separately, like expires for sub owners, just listed, just sold, any of that?
We don't have the capacity for all of that. I mean, the outbound attempts we're making are on most of the organic opportunities, and then obviously the other lead sources. But yeah, no, right now there's no time in the day for circle or outbound.
Yeah, it makes sense, man, because you guys have such a great system going. You don't need to do that, which is beautiful. With the rest of your team, because you have 180 agents and you function as a team, right, within Remax, do you guys have similar splits to other teams where it's 50-50, 60-40? Is that what it typically looks like, or is that a little different?
Yeah, it's 50, depending on the lead source, because some, I'm paying more to generate those leads. Obviously, we have overhead, where it's really difficult to figure out exactly what the cost of lead acquisition is, because I probably scare myself, because we spend so much on sports marketing. We do the Titans, which is the NFL team, local NFL team. We do the Predators, which is the local hockey team, but we also spend a lot of money on radio, TV, and billboards. So it's the combination of all those things, and then if you put that into the mix, the SEO. So we never know. You can't attribute one particular source to where the leads come from, because even if it comes from Zillow, there's some brand awareness that people know. Oh, that's the Ashton Real Estate Group, or that's you're on the Gary Ashton team. There's a level of credibility credibility and awareness, So hopefully that one.
It's very true. It's hard to track, guys. I agree with you on that, and I love that you have so many different sources, because if something isn't working as well as it used to, you have the rest of them to pick it up. So I love that balance that you have. So then, question for either one of you who wants to take this one on. That's the accountability and the efficiency that you have with your systems. How do you make sure that the team that you have is following up correctly, whether it's the ISAs or the actual?
So this is something that I can speak to, but the guy that put all this all together is Scott. So Scott really has gone from working with spreadsheets and trying to create some accountability to I'll let Scott tell you all about how
Sure.
he's got things.
So we have multiple things in place for this. So obviously, we've got agents are just, running crazy in this market. We're putting 15, 20 offers in to get people a house. So, it's hard right now because everybody wants the next opportunity, like the agent thinks that the new Zillow lead might close tomorrow. And so they're grabbing stuff, even though they have, 20 that they're already working with. And so we have basically an allotted number of opportunities a month that someone can take. Again, those are 90% appointments. So a lot, like, they're live breathing people ready to talk. It's not the forced registration guy that registered from, England that's, looking at some houses and prices over here. And so I have, I've linked Follow Up Boss with a RDS database, and I run a lot of spreadsheets through that do various different automations and give us tons and tons of data, which shows, active right to the second, what everybody's conversion rate is, how many leads they've taken, what's their appointment rate, met with rates. And based off of those front end metrics, we allot different amounts of leads to agents, because, we essentially, doing that, it used to take us about 6 months to see if an agent was going to work out. Well, in that first 6 months, they take, 150 leads or so. And if you attribute the cost to leads, you calculate it out. Well, it cost me $15,000, but what's the opportunity cost of that is what's more important. If they closed at 4%, but our average is 10%, well, they cost us, 6 or 8 deals, which in our realm is costing us 50, 60, 70,000. And so I've really keyed in on front end leading metrics, which then obviously downwind give us a little bit of flexibility on the hawking of, individual leads, because I try to stay away from, what did you do with this one, and this one? And we more try to focus broad, because if they're out there showing houses and they've got a 20% conversion rate, I'm less interested in, them updating a note on the last call than I am closing 20 out of 100 leads. All
right. I love that, dude.
So really what you're looking at is, to put that into a nutshell, you're trying to figure out what somebody's capacity is, what's their ability to follow up, maintain, and what their eventual conversion is. So
yeah,
the way that I visualize that is that, and Scott's going to laugh because he's heard this so many times now, it's the spinning plate theory. Like back in the day, the old cabaret would have a pole with a plate on it, and you have to keep that spinning. So if the leads represent that plate, if you can keep it spinning at 75 miles per hour, it just sits there, it's spinning, it doesn't wobble, it's perfect. So you're really focusing on keeping the lead of that speed up, which is the attention, showing homes, all that good stuff. So if you only have 3 or 4 or 5, you can keep them all spinning. When you get 10, well, that's a little harder, but when you get to 15, 25, 50, there comes a point where you don't have the time to dedicate to that lead, that client. You're not giving them the service that they need. So the plate starts to wobble. And then when you start getting to 100, all that's happening is you're running around from trying to, oh, I need this. And then you hear a plate fall overhead. Oh, missed that one. So it's really trying to figure out what the optimum capacity of somebody is to work efficiently with those clients, those leads, those people, because you want to give them the best service possible. Bit of a cliche, but that's how you build a successful relationship with those people, and they trust you. So, and people are different. Some people can manage 25, and some people can only manage 10. So what Scott's done is created this system where you can essentially look at different levels from the 30,000 foot level, or you can go right down and look at it in minute detail, what somebody's doing. So it's an amazing system, but it's really helped. And, and that at the end of the day, it comes down to accountability. So for us to be able to go in and review and not just go, well, what's been going on here? You actually know what's been going on. And it's not purely notes, it's about met with rates, and Scott will tell you all that stuff.
Well, part of my question is exactly what you're expanding on there. First of all, if you walked in late, this is recorded. It's on the Follow Up Boss YouTube channel. I put in the link there. But the question is this going deeper? Do you have some of your ISAs also help with the nurture, or do you leave that more for automation and agents? What does that look like?
Yeah,
Well,
so that's some. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that is something that that's the long-term goal, and we're moving more and more towards that. But Scott will give you the kind of the overview on that.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is, obviously, the more that we can control that client relationship, the better, obviously, because when you're not vested monetarily, it's easier if that lead's harder to convert or whatever, then it's easier to just let it slide and we'll grab the next one. So we're trying to bring, we're in the middle of maybe doubling that ISA staff long-term to do a lot of the long-term nurture for folks, which includes like sending out houses that are in our coming soon or pre-list phase inside the brokerage, getting that to out, houses every day to people versus sending, hey, are you still interested in real estate? We want to be sending valuable information on a daily basis to people that want that. And then the longer term folks are on drips typically.
All right, good. I love that, man. So how do you maintain the process coming in so smoothly? So the lead comes in, ISA calls it, assigns it to an agent. Is Follow Up Boss the only system that you're using to maintain that fluidity, or are you adding other pieces?
Yeah, so we use Slack for a majority of our lead handout right now. I'm in the middle of building a lead routing tool that'll automatically hand out leads based on price points and zip codes and capacities. But right now, Slack is the go-to with Follow Up Boss. So everything comes in based off Follow Up Boss. I'm triggering Slack notifications for my ISAs. If they convert something then into an appointment, then there's automations that send stuff out into Slack. Once it's claimed, they're assigned, they get a three-way introduction from the ISA that built the trust to the agent, and they're setting them up to build more trust. And hey, this is the Brentwood expert, he's going to get you set up, can send you more information about the area. Then the agents call in, making sure that they have talked with the listing agent on that property, figured out what details they can share to make sure that appointment's held.
I love that. Quick question. Mackenzie's got two questions here. It says, who do you guys work with to help build and customize your website design? And do you do client events?
So the website design is through Real Estate Webmasters. And some of that is taking a template that exists, and then me customizing it. I'm a little picky on design, so I like to focus on that kind of stuff. So that's what we do with Real Estate Webmasters. What was the other question? So the website and what was the other part of that?
Client events. Are you going to go back to doing client events if you were doing those during?
Yeah. So when we got the partnership, the sponsorship with the Titans, instead of taking the suite and getting like 16, 20 seats, I opted for a few club level seats, but I wanted a spot where I could do a tailgate. And so I had an RV, I wrapped that with some branding, and then did hamburgers and hot dogs before the game, and trying to make that the client appreciation. So we can open that to all our clients. We can open that to potential clients. We ended up getting a spot where about maybe 35, 40,000 people are walking past that, one end of the south end of the stadium. So massive exposure. If you go to GaryAshtonTailgate.com, there's actually an old drone video from when we first started. It kind of gives you an overview of where we are. So we do those. We've done, we take people to the Predators game. So just recently, we have a really close relationship with the Predators. So they're not doing events there, but we've been able to invite people to the suite. So not the massive client appreciation parties, but We just did one for the team because they just stopped the mask mandate a couple of days ago here in Tennessee. So we had an outside event for, really it was just for all the team, and it was just because we're from Nashville, we have so many people on the team who are beyond talented. We have literally 5, 6 people that were on either American Idol or The Voice. So wow. Yeah, and I like really good. So we had a little event the other day, and that was kind of like a trial run for us, getting maybe doing some more outdoor events with the clients. So we haven't done anything like, I know people have the cinema events and things like that. So I think we do pumpkin pies and all the traditional stuff. So always looking to expand on that, because I think now with people wanting to get back together, there's definitely an opportunity to do something creative there, especially in Nashville. And then we have an ability, we've got a spot with a massive parking spot, so we could probably do some more client appreciation stuff, just focusing around music, because we have so many talented people on the team.
There's a lot of people right now wanting to go out, so perfect time. Yeah. Guys, we are on time here to wrap up, and I think we need like a part 2 and 3 to this. Just from I didn't even get to start with other questions. So if you missed any of this, it'll be on the YouTube channel for Follow Up Boss. We will do a part 2 and 3 to this when Scott and Gary give us some time. I know their time's super valuable, and there's a lot that they have to share. So guys, thank you so much. What area of Nashville do you cover? Do you cover all of Nashville? Do you cover all of Tennessee? If we need to send you referrals, what does that look like?
So, I mean, Nashville is the umbrella that covers, we go as far south as Columbia, north as Portland. So anything really like an hour and a half, 2-hour commute of Nashville. So that means Murfreesboro, Hendersonville, Gallatin,
Clarksville.
Clarksville, Mount Juliet. So it's it's kind of one of those things. I always say that if you meet somebody on a cruise and you live in Mount Juliet, you met somebody from Chicago, you would probably say, "Oh yeah, I'm from Nashville," and then they would say they were from Chicago. But then they would drill down to say, "Well, actually, I'm from Murfreesboro, just out," and they would say, "Oh, I'm from, I don't know, an area outside of." But you know what I'm saying? So Nashville is the collective. Like, where do you live in? Is it San Diego, or I can't remember where you live?
Malibu, California.
Malibu. So within Malibu, is it like a neighborhood, or is that?
Like Broad Beach and
essentially you just live where everybody wants to be in Malibu, essentially.
I mean, why not? Yeah. I got it. All right, guys. Well, let's do this again. I'd love to dive in deeper. Scott, thank you so much, man. I may come up and pick your brain. And Scott, if you haven't checked out Jeff Moore on creating some of the zaps, hit him up.
He's a good dude.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Gary, Scott, and everybody else. Appreciate everybody.
All right. Thanks. Bye.